Hi and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Today we are taking the action cam for a spin and we are making some Butterick Stays. So let's go! I bought some Butterick Stays because, well, I like the form and I have never made anything from Butterick before, so let's try this out. I'm going to trace the pattern pieces onto the paper I just showed you. Going to do that by using my light table, and I'm going to take the pieces that are my size. Easy peasy. So I'm just going to trace out all the lines, assembly marks, texts, whatever is on the pieces, and then cut them out one by one. This is the first one, and as you can see there are lots of lines. I'm going to cut that out and take the next one. So that's what I did for tracing out the pattern pieces. Here I'm just checking that I have all of them, because there are two patterns, or there are a little corset thing and stays in this pattern, so I just made sure that I had all the right pieces. And here I'm figuring out if the black pen is going to go through the paper, so I don't have to trace them on both sides, because I'm going to be needing to trace things on both sides. That is what I'm testing out here, and you know what? It worked. So I'm going to do that with all the pattern pieces. This is the front piece. And here are all the other pieces. I have cut out the fabric, and now I'm going to trace out all of the boning channels and all of the assembly marks and all that stuff before I'm ready to sew it. So I'm just going to do this with each pattern piece. This is fairly self-explanatory. I'm using carbon paper and a little trace wheel that cuts through the pattern piece and then traces all the lines onto the pieces. This is fairly simple. It just takes a lot of time. And I think that's just the way it is with stays and corsets. It's fairly easy. It just takes a lot of time. But yeah, now they're ready to be sewn. Here you can see the little trace marks, and I just pinned the pieces together. And now I'm going to sew each piece with all the little boning channels. And I'm not going to put in a lining, I'm just going to sandwich two pieces together and put in the boning there, because this is just a mock-up. This is just me trying out this pattern to see if it even fits, how it fits, and if it even works. And here are all the pieces. All the boning channels are in. As you can see, with all of the thread that I have to cut off before sewing them together. And I'm just checking to see how I'm going to put on the side pieces. That's the good thing about Butterick. You have these diagrams you can follow, or pictures you can follow. That's actually kind of awesome. And I'm here again just checking how I'm going to put on the last pieces and the shoulder straps. Which, spoiler, I ended up sewing them on not quite right, but if you have a good eye, then you can see it in the next clips which one it is. I'm not gonna tell you. And here it is, all sewn together. You can see which one I sewed on wrong. And here I'm putting in all of the boning. And I am using zip ties because again this is a mock-up, so zip ties is the cheapest solution. And I'm also using scrap IKEA fabric. Boning in, I just snipped the seam allowance on the inside with a little pinking shear, just, you know, to make it look nice. And now I'm going to cut all the little channels, or the little tabs. And I'm going to be using this bias tape to put on as binding. And we're giving the action cam another spin. Woo! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! So first off, I'm cutting up all of the tabs one by one, trying not to cut the line that I have sewn or the stitches that I have made. After that, I'm going to cut down the seam allowance all the way around so it fits the binding better, because my binding is only 1 centimeter, but the seam allowance all the way around is 2 centimeters. So I'm just going to cut that down to make it a little easier for myself. All the way around. And now we're ready for binding. Oh yeah! I have put binding on the top of the stays. All done. Now I only need the bottom. Sew that on. This is always pretty tricky for me, but I found that square tabs are easier for me to put binding on than round ones. So I'm just fiddling around with this. Ended up giving it a little press with my iron before sewing it, and it actually turned out okay, better than I thought it would. So, yay me! All done, ready for some eyelets. And here I'm just seeing how the fit is, or trying to see how the fit is going to be with my Redthreaded stays in these days. And so far they're looking a bit too big. Marking off where all of my little eyelets are going to be. Making sure that it's going to be spiral laced at center front. I always check that because I'm not always good at getting this right. And here I'm making all the holes for the eyelets with my wonky hole maker that only works half the time and only on one side. Woo! And I'm just making some quick eyelets with some stocking yarn that I had. Again, this is just a mock-up, so this was just, I didn't even need to make eyelet holes, but I did, because why not? I was already doing the thing, so why not do it right? And here I'm trying it on, and I'm looking very serious, because this is my thinking face, because the fit is not quite right. They are a bit too big, and I like the back part of the stays. They fit really nicely, isn't too tight or anything, and underneath the arms and the shoulder straps, all of that is awesome. But the front and the way the boning is on the front, it just feels off. It feels like my boobs want to fall out, because the boning channels doesn't go all the way up. Yeah, so I'm thinking, and yeah. But they are done, and I have made Butterick Stays, and I'm probably going to make another pair of these at some point, but in another color and in some other fabric. and maybe a size smaller, because I like the look of them. They're just too big. But yeah, Butterick Stays! Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!